Greetings from this side of the Atlantic. I hope you're having a great retirement celebration. I also hope this video is clear enough for you. It's the first of its kind that I've ever made, and I can't promise any great quality, but I certainly get A for effort here. So here goes. They asked me to say something about you. I've known you really as long as anyone has, but I can't say I know you better than anyone. I won't bring up all the stupid stories that happened over the past 55 years, but we were certainly like chalk and cheese growing up. In particular, you were the normal one, I was the weirdo. There are many stories that could be told about this. The one that always comes to mind, though, is that I played the violin, you played the drums. When Mum and Dad would have guests over for dinner, they'd always want me to play the violin. I never wanted to, but you were always so happy to play the drums for them. You'd drag them down to the cellar, put on a 45 record, and bash away to your heart's delight. So I think it's appropriate at this day that you still play the drums, whereas I haven't touched the violin in decades. I remember when you transferred to Michigan State so that you could get specialized in a field. It seemed back then you were already planning to get a good job and have a happy family life that you'd always dreamed of. I couldn't understand this. I always dreamed of traveling and living in another country. Maybe that explains why I created that stupid Spanish Guama language, if you could call it a language, that you always found so insanely funny. But about the only thing we ever had in common, I have to say, was the tennis, and still you could always beat me. From the first time we played to the last time we played just a few years ago. So I'm glad you kept up with that. Hopefully I'll have a chance to play a little more. One of these days I'll beat you. Maybe, maybe not. But it's hard to believe this day is happening. Not only because it seems time has gone by so fast, but also because you always seem to love your job so much. No matter which company you were with, or no matter which city you were living in, I didn't think you'd want to stop working so early. But it's really wonderful that you have other interests and will have the time to spend with them, as well as travel more. It was great to see you in Stockholm last year. It only took you 20 years to get here, and glad that you've been to London twice as well. It's fun when you meet my colleagues and my friends. Their reaction is always the same. Is he really your brother? He's so quiet. He's so normal. So I just hope you'll be over on this side of the pond a little more often. Needless to say, I'm incredibly jealous and have begun investigating all possibilities as to when I can retire. It won't be anytime soon, though. I find it interesting that your children always talk about how cheap you were. With my memory for trivia and other useless information, I can't say that it's something I remember about you. But I wish I'd been more cheap, because then I'd be able to retire in another 2 years as well. But as I said, it won't be anytime soon. So enough rambling on that note. Let me just close with something Swedish. Glada pension och lycka till i framtiden. Happy retirement, all the best in the future, and I really hope we'll see you sometime soon. Cheers.